beautiful people, and welcome to NKA on Afia TV, broadcasting live from the coast city, Enugu State. We're on DSTV channel 254, Go TV channel 14, and Free TV channel 748. My name is China Loromogu Eze, and I'm your host for today's episode of NKA. NKA means art, and on NKA, we dive into conversations with inspiring individuals who have done this thing called life or are still doing this thing called life. We draw from their experiences and they give us a bit of aspire to acquire, but either which way, we tell people's stories, right? So that's what we do here. And it's Thursday, the weekend is underway, and I'm so excited because my typical weekend, it's not like you asked me, but I'll tell you either way. My typical weekend is going for karaoke sessions and maybe dreaming about my crush, who you'll never know I'm crushing on him though, and a bunch of other things that I do to just make my weekend very exciting. And I hope your weekend is going to be as exciting as mine. If you do not think dreaming about my crush is exciting, well, that's on you because it is exciting. So you can tell us or tell me how your weekend is coming along on Instagram at Afia TV Official or on my personal account at Nalo_Kings. Either which way works, all right? So it's still Women's History Month and we have a beautiful guest, but I will not be introducing her right now. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to introduce to you the guest we have for today. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Thank you so much. Welcome back to NKA. My name is China Loromogu Eze. And like I said earlier, this is Women's History Month. It's March and it's Women's History Month. We had the International Women's Day just last week. And some of you got flowers and money and a bunch of other things for IWDs. That's how you people do over here. That's crazy, baby. But that's fine. And in the spirit and in the month of celebrating women and all they have done to humanity and the world at large, we have this beautiful, beautiful woman with us here today. She is the Director of Education at Eldoray Children House. She is no other person than Theodora Ajegwu. Oh, good evening, Ma. How are you doing?
I'm very awesome, thank you.
Oh,
good
you
evening,
look so
Nana.
pretty.
Thank you.
Oh, God when? So pretty.
Hi, Nana. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you here.
Great to be
And
here.
we see you've been doing amazing things in your niche and outside, and you've been everywhere. And that's such a delight to see. You're so passionate about your work, and we're going to be talking about all of that today. But I'm more curious. I think the first thing I always want to know is your childhood, right? How did you grow up? Where did you grow up? Did you, because I like to call you called Teacher Dora.
Yeah.
You called Teacher Dora. So you're a teacher.
Yes,
so
I am.
did you always want to do something around teaching when you were growing up?
Absolutely.
Really?
So my childhood ambition was to be a teacher, marry a policeman, and have 9 children.
You are not serious.
And
Who is this woman?
And I remember my dad just looking at me and saying, "You're going to suffer."
He wasn't lying though.
And, you know, I don't even know why that was what I wanted, but I just knew I did really want to teach. But the realness of it happened for me somewhere in SS1. For me, it was in the class SS1, I realized I have some brains. And everybody was calling me to show them something at the night prep. Theodora, come and do this. But I wasn't a take first position kind of brains person, but I had brains, you know, that kind of.
I understand.
So they said, "Yeah, do you want to show us this? Do you want to?" So by the time I was writing JAM, straight of course, I put education as my first choice. Second choice, education. At the time, what I wanted to study was education, political science, because I had uncles who were lawyers, and they would say to me, "We think you're too intelligent to want to be a teacher. So maybe you should read law or something else where, okay, this intelligence can be used, but you're not necessarily teaching." So to make them happy, you know, this our culture thing. You have to find a way to appease the gods
The gods, yeah. So it's
do
okay.
what you want to do. So I put education, political science, because I thought it kind of put me in the middle. And I ended up studying social studies education.
Oh.
And people say to me, really, what did you even study? How do you spend all those years in school reading social studies? And then after I studied social studies, after my program, somewhere in the course of reading social studies, I took a course that exposed me to early childhood. And they talked so much about this woman, and I thought, wow, really? So after I finished school, I went on to specialize in early years education. So yes, I'd always wanted to be a teacher. And I've been a teacher since 2006 professionally.
Oh wow! Did you do, since you said early years education? So
Yes.
I want to know, which means you were in a classroom
Oh, yes.
with a chalk, with a cane. I don't know if you
Not with a cane.
Okay.
The only time I had a cane was my very first teaching job. Am I allowed to say that?
Of course. Say what
So
you
my
want to
very
say.
first teaching job, I taught government. At the time, I had not done my early years course. So because I read social studies, it was either to go and teach social studies or to teach government. So I taught at a government school, and I was teaching SS1. And I was about 19 and a half.
Oh really?
And these girls looked bigger than me.
Oh.
So when I walk in the class, they are looking at me like,
Who be this?
she finished school, so, no matter how smart you are, there's something about just being young. And at that time, it wasn't like now where there's social media that can grow you on a certain level. So yes, I knew all the book, but hey, some of them were even married because I taught in the north. This was in the north.
Okay.
So there was some SS1 girls who had husbands who brought them to. So they're sitting in the class, leg on the table. They're giving you the attitude.
I read this thing, but
it's real.
it's real. Oh my God.
Don't make me call the name of the school. It's real. In a city called Zaria. That was my first teaching job. It was hard.
So you did not use the cane to beat the
But I just went with the cane so that I look like a really bad serious teacher.
Oh dear, that was something.
Yes.
Right. So now that you're specializing in early years education, could you expound on that a bit for kids under 5 or?
Yes, under 6.
Under 6.
Yes. So what that makes me is I've become the teacher who is trained on how to teach children. So the oldest child I would typically be teaching in my classroom is a 5-year-old. At the most, a 6-year-old for those who didn't come in early. And so what I'm doing is teaching them in simple English, so I don't speak too much teacher English, is teaching them all the skills they need to actually learn. So how to concentrate, how to listen, how to solve problems, how to hold the pencil, how to sit properly, how to speak kindly, how to blow their nose, how to push in their chairs. It's so beautiful.
I wish I had something like this when I was growing up.
It's
a
so
couple of these
beautiful.
things you mentioned, they use beating to instill them
Now,
inside
so
my life.
what my training did for me when I went to specialize is teach you the science behind how to get that done without beating. So I've actively taught as a teacher in other people's school for over 11 years before I started my school, and I never had a reason to beat a child.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
But you will have to learn the magic of using your words, your face, your body language. You have to always, we say, you sit on your hands, you open your mouth. If you must be a good early years teacher. So you have to have the words and say, my husband will say, you know how to say all the mean things in the nicest ways.
Oh.
So you won't say, why did you not write? You say, are you sure you feel comfortable that you didn't write? How do you feel now that your friends are reading and you didn't write?
Like, so many questions are in my head right now because nobody taught me like this. Nobody taught me like this. It really is.
It is.
But while you were talking, I'm just thinking, it seems and sounds like the Western way of raising a child. I'm not saying we do not raise a child with love. You would see that everything is high-handed. You don't use hard hands on you. I learned to read the clock at age 10 with a slap, with a cane, those kind of things, right? And I feel, I'm not saying that kids these days need these things, but I'm not sure how you're able to handle it kids can be very, very, very annoying. They test your last nerve. How are you handling it?
So I have two rules. Always remember that a child is a human being in a little body.
Okay.
What that means is they have their own personality. So they can be corny like an adult will be corny. Don't forget that.
Okay.
They can be tricky like an adult. So if you see every child, even if they are 1, 2, 6 months, as a human being in a little body, you will address them as a human being.
Wow.
1. 2, you don't give them freedom until they have learned the boundaries. So your job, whenever they come to you, if they come to you at 6 months, if they come to you at 2, at 4, your initial job is to instill the boundaries. So you put this here. When they come, because they don't know, they take this, they put it over here. You say, uh-oh, this stays here.
Uh-oh.
You can use your Nigerian voice if you want.
Exactly.
You can say, oh, no. Because I tell...
That's not a Nigerian voice.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
You can say that. You can say you can say that. You can say
or maybe you can say Maggie if I slap you.
No, you don't threaten them.
Oh,
if you threaten children, it's okay if you want to, because of our culture, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I say to parents or people who work with children, if you threaten a child, please bring it to pass. That's the only way that threat has worked.
Wow.
That's the only way that child has learned not to do it again. So I have a son, he's 10 now. He was homeschooled the first 6 years. Because
serious?
I can't be teacher and be going to pay school fees. That's one. Secondly, it was just cheaper for me. You know what I mean?
Smart woman.
You know what I mean? But I say to people, choose whatever works for you. As a parent, what values do you want to see in your child? And then make that the rule. So as a school, we have values, and then we tell you, these are the values that we want to put in your children. Is it okay with you? So if you make it clear your values, then you can tell the child, if you do that, you're going away. You're not going to have this. You're not going to... I bought a wristwatch 2 weeks ago for my son. He literally twisted me, Mom, that day we went to the shop. I saw it. You know that I need the wristwatch. The other one, the strap cord. This one, this. I said, no problem. I said, you know your daddy is not going to like that. When we were leaving the house, on that list, there was no wristwatch. And now we're buying wristwatch.
Yeah.
But you know I'm a mommy as well.
Yeah.
So I can't be all teacher. So I bought the wristwatch, then I put it in a different purse. And then when I got home, I found a way to tell daddy that I saw one wristwatch. Oh. So I just bought it for him. Remember that his wristwatch is cut. And then daddy says, oh, that's okay. Make sure he finished reading his book before you give him. Okay. Because we gave him a book to read in January. And he dumped it. So we've all been watching him. So he goes, he comes, he says, but Mom, that book, I'm struggling to read it. I say, go and pick another book from the shelf. He goes, he picks another one. After 2 weeks, 2 days, he comes. He says, Mom, this book's making me feel like I don't know anything. I say, okay, go and pick another one. Then I said, but this time, this is the last book, Boundary. If you pick it, you must read it. He says, but why? I said, because in real life, you don't start something and leave it. So that's what you do with your children. I told all that story to say, so that you're not shouting and beating them, because that's not the life Jesus died for. You can't be shouting. This is the rule. Be clear the rule, and then apply it however works for you. But as a teacher, I won't beat your child. But I can tell you, this child needs this. I've had parents who will come here and say, Teacher Dora, see your daughter, she's shouting and she's crying and she removed her slippers and she's beating me. And I'll say, hang up this call. Remove your slippers too. Beat her. Then call me back. Then we can talk. But I won't do that in my practice, because if a child collapses, I'm liable. So for those reasons, I will not encourage a teacher to beat. But you can tell the parent where they need. Yes.
I see. That's wise.
Yes.
That you will not be held liable.
Yes,
to
because
any
in
of
the
that.
end, one of my favorite educator mentors, she will say, education is to prepare a child for life. So if because of our culture and the environment that we are, we need to add a little, pull your ears, you can face the wall, all those kinds of things. Yes, by all means, if it will help you.
Wow. Wow, that's
So
really
it's not
something.
Oyinbo, that's what I was trying to say.
So Eldoray Children House is strictly for early years education that tries to instill values into kids in the most what's the word, in the most
life
calm way,
applicable way.
right? No threats, no
Yes.
flogging.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's something.
Yes.
You're doing a beautiful thing for the world,
Yes.
because we live in Africa and in Nigeria where we believe that using insults, using slippers, and using a bunch of all those things are the best ways to approach these things, and that's a problem, right? But then that brings me to something I saw on social media the other day. I'm not sure how many people saw it, but I think this child was like 5 or 7. It's, of course, I think she's a Black American. I think she's white. I do not know. She was in a supermarket. Then she starts breaking bottles in the supermarket.
Excuse me.
Do you get? She starts breaking bottles, and then when someone's trying to talk to her, the mother says, "Stay away from her. You don't know what she's been through." I will twist your daughter's head. Wait. They say this child is going through a lot. This child goes to the supermarket, she starts throwing things. You know, when white people get angry, they scatter tables and all this stuff. So I think that's what this girl's trying to do in a supermarket.
That's wrong.
She's doing that, and then people are like, social media comment section, of course, Nigerians fill the comment section.
Like they should bring
her to Nigeria and deal with her.
Yeah.
And I think Asians also have this culture that we do of using high hats on children, right? So I don't know. I'm not saying you have experienced something like that, but how would you approach? How do you think you would have approached that situation?
For me, I'm very firm but very kind.
Okay.
That's how I say it. That's the nice English to say. So this will include holding the child by the shoulder for me.
Oh.
In that kind of situation, I would literally grab you by the shoulder, lift you up. I'll say, "Excuse me, I'm going to move you now because you can't make a mess here." And I will grab you like this and put you somewhere else. And it looks like it's so far away, but it happens here. We have Nigerians who have a lot of privileges and they've traveled, and I've seen Nigerian children spit on their nannies.
Oh dear.
Because one of the things we do is home support. So some children, their parents are so large, they don't want them in regular school. So we send the tutor to the house, and the tutor is there 8 to 2 and all of that. And we've seen parents do that. I have had, even me, Teacher Dora, I've had children who have gone to teach, and they will say, "Hey, Daddy, look at Teacher Dora. Look how she's laughing like she's a poor woman."
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
Kids are so, they say
especially
anything.
now.
Say anything. Oh my God, that's traumatizing.
Like, why are you laughing like that? You know, are you a poor woman? My daddy says that it's poor people that laugh and open all their teeth like that. I'm not kidding you. Nigerian children growing in Nigeria.
Of course. Yes, they say anything.
So
kids.
I've learned that you be firm, but you be kind. Because for some of these children, truly, you're the only example of some sort of discipline they will get. Because some parents truly don't have the skill. I've had a parent say to me, "Just come and be my house manager." That's how rich she feels.
Okay.
She's like, "Just come and help me manage my nanny, make sure that everybody is just doing the right thing so my daughter can be normal."
Wow. Too much money, huh? but I don't know. Parents that struggle with discipline for their kids, what do you think the problem is? Even Africa, even as we pride ourselves as people we can discipline our kids, some people still struggle with disciplining their children. What do you think the problem is?
You can't give what you don't have. So I wrote an article a few days ago, and I was talking about how you must be the example that you want. Values, good behavior, they don't fall on children. So when you become a parent or when you work with children, it gives you an opportunity to become a better person.
Yeah.
If you want to do it well. So it's okay if you didn't know. It's okay if you had bad behavior before you had the child. Remember that your child is going to be a reflection of you. And you haven't done the job until they look at you and remind you of the rules you set. Then you know I've done the job. So it's okay if you're struggling. Look for help, find help, check here, there, or you find anywhere you're sure you can get help. Real help. but model it. Try it. If you want them to push in their chairs, always push in their chairs.
Right.
If you want them to wash their plates, so officially in my house, I don't do the dishes anymore. If I do it, it's out of, I'm just bored. In fact, I remember doing it one day. My mother said, you're just trying to reduce work for you. You know, I'm trying not to call my son, respecting his privacy right now. And I said, no, I'm a chick now. I'm a woman now. When I finish cooking, it's okay for me to feel like just doing the dishes.
Yeah.
That's how much my son does the dishes. And I remember when I started getting him to do the dishes, he said, Mommy, am I a washing machine? Mommy, am I a washing machine? I said, this is the moment I was waiting for.
Right.
That you'll be grown to the point where you can do it. Now, he has so much fun doing the dishes. We get angry because he can be there for an hour.
I gotta employ your son though.
And
so
be chatting with all the, oh my God, the bubbles. So be the example.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So that's Theodora Ajegwu telling us how she raises her children and other people's children as well.
Of course.
Not just hers. It's the conversation just started and it's been exciting. We have something packed for Theodora Ajegwu, but we'll not show it now. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to show her the Afia love. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Unka. My name is China Loromogo Ese, and we are diving into the story of Theodora Ajegwu, a teacher who has chosen to use calm and interesting measures to raise children, and that's really, really interesting. So now that we're here, like I told you, we have this thing we do for our guests. It's basically to show you how far you've come, makes you to reminisce on those days when you were still starting out or already starting out. Yeah, you don't know what it is. Yeah,
I'm wondering.
So please, when you're ready, we are ready. You can take it away. So we do this thing for. We care about you. We care about your journey. We care about your story. Yes. We're coming.
Now I'm freaking out.
It's nothing to freak out about. Oh my God. Is that your son?
Yes.
When was this picture taken though?
This must be maybe 2023, 22, thereabout.
It's the filter for me. It's hot. Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look at me, no pot belly.
No pot. Oh gee, this woman, you are insufferable. You don't have a pot belly, but you look very young here.
This must have been maybe 2018.
Wow.
This was some school in Abuja.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to call the name of the school.
There's no problem. You can call it.
Oh, wow.
It's giving counseling session or something around those
this
lines.
was when we opened the school in Kaduna. Some people came for an interview. Oh, that's why I had my hair all nicely combed.
Okay. Right.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
It's giving hot babe.
See, this was me. I was
actually skeptical. Are you sure this is her?
This is me. This was I know I was teaching at Kingfisher. I remember this dress and this hair. It was an end of year party and I was teaching the class they used to call Duke and Duchess. So the oldest child in my class is 2.5. So this was my buff up to go and present.
The purple lipstick for me. It's giving.
On speech and prize giving days are the only days we could dress up. Look at me.
Oh, wow, look at you. Look at you. Yeah, let's have, there's this other one. Oh.
This was my 30th birthday. I remember this picture so
really?
well. Yes.
So pretty. The sticker is also replete of those days, but it's fine. Look at you. You have, I think you have a signature lipstick or something.
I don't know. The thing is, I'm still learning this babe thing. People think that I'm not quite a babe, so I just feel like it's safe with pink. I can't go wrong with pink. It's babe enough.
But it's cool. It's cool. I think pink goes well with light-skinned people, and that's really gorgeous. So that's it on our love for you. You See how far you've
You
come,
got
dating
me.
back, dating back to 2018,
Look at that.
23, 16, all the stuff. It's been a long time coming, and we're so proud of
Yeah.
you. We're so
Wow.
proud.
I did see
You're
this
still
coming.
wowing.
I
Take your
did see
time.
this coming.
Take your time.
Oh my.
But that's
Wow.
fine. So the next thing I want to talk about is I understand that
Yeah.
you are the Enugu State's lead for African Women in Leadership Organization.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really something. And the first thing on my mind right now is how are you navigating being there as a woman? I'm sure it's only for women in leadership, but we're talking on a level ground.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think women in leadership? What challenges do you think women in leadership face? I mean, some of us we know these things, but I want to hear your perspective on that. Challenges that women who are in leadership organizations, leadership could be political, it could be anyhow. What are they facing?
I think that just being able to remain a woman while being a leader is a challenge. And I'll explain that. Especially because of our culture, there are certain expectations that because of our culture, society wants to see from a woman. And I'm not talking of the mundane things like, is she married, is she not married?
Okay.
I'm talking about that softness, that girliness, that soft,
femininity,
you know, that
aura of
yes,
being a woman.
just be a girl kind of thing. I think that for us, based on the cultural dynamics that we have to function in, that can be one major struggle. And the reason why I pick that amongst the many struggles is that everybody kind of remembers all the other one. And you may not be giving some special consideration because you're a woman, deliver, da, 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 da. But I think that every woman who is in active leadership, there's a struggle to remain a chick. While being a leader, because being a leader comes with all that we know about being a leader, being assertive, you know, making decisions, blah, and just all that responsibility. I like to call it the burden of leadership. You're making decisions, whether it's for a women organization or for an organization like Afia TV or anywhere, there's a responsibility that comes with being the leader.
Of course.
Now, because of our culture, there's a softness that is still expected of you. And so when you're a woman in active leadership, even if you do all that superwoman everywhere else, you go reach one place where they look you to see whether you're chick enough. Unconsciously, society is just looking. It may be in church, if you're the church kind of person, there will be a place where somebody is checking that, this Nalu, this teacher Dora, hope that it's not because she's a boss. She's the state chairperson of African women. She now wants to come and tell us what to do. They expect. So finding that balance. So I always tell my sister leaders, you must remember to be a girl. Remember to be a girl. Remember to be a girl. You may not be able to. So some people are even in male-dominated industries where they have to even dress more masculine. They have to. That's okay. But remember, after all of that, to be a girl. I'm not sure if we have to go into all the lecture of how to remain a girl.
Yeah, I think we want to do that. How to be a girl 101. Let's have it, Theodora. Let's have it.
Remain soft. Be a leader when your job shows up. Once you finish, right there and then, go back to being Theodora. And sometimes even the people you love, your husband, boyfriend, all those people, they are so used to the superwoman they just expect you to function. Pretend it. Pretend that you can't function now. So that they will remember that you're also a girl. Pretend that you're helpless. I'm saying pretend because it's hard. Because 8 to 9 or 8 to 5, you have been making decisions and writing scripts and asking Theodora questions like you now. And just, being a smart problem solver. And then all of a sudden, you go to your village and you have to greet everybody with a side bow and a side bow. And sometimes you may forget because you're so used to greeting, hello, good afternoon, hello, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Not because you want to be rude, but everywhere else, you're greeting, hello,
everywhere.
good. So then unconsciously you do hello, good. They're looking at you like, what happened?
This is disrespectful.
So you have to remember to be a girl. So for me, I practice at home. Sometimes I just sit down and announce, you people are not pampering me in this house. Is it because I'm strong?
Aww.
Then they will just look at me. My husband is immune now. And he will say to my son, mommy says, you're not pampering her. I will not answer them. Then I will just sit down and act like I'm falling apart. And they'll say, what is it? I say, I don't know. I'm just tired.
Oh, dear, that's so sweet.
That works for me. For some other women, that may not work. Maybe they're alone. Because, so for me, even before I got married, I was already superwoman. So even when we started dating, he would say, calm down now. And you know, he's an Anambra man. So he has that brashness to him. He's like, just be my woman. I'm like, I don't know how to be.
Where una they see this love?
Just be a woman. I would tell him, I don't know yet how to be a girl. So I started learning that when my bulb dies, I can call him and say, Daddy, the bulb, I can climb this thing now. If you turn off all those cameras and change this bulb, nothing's going to happen to me.
You want to be a girl.
So I'll just remember, yes, that I'm going to make my hair. I have the money complete in my bag. Complete, Nalu. And I will say, Daddy, please, can I have money to make my hair? He will laugh and say, but you have money. I'll say, no, I don't have.
To God, I don't have.
You know, just to remind me that I'm a girl. Yeah. Then when I'm there, I will snap myself and say, see, I'm making my hair.
Oh my God.
That's how I remind myself to be a girl. So for somebody else, it may be something else. Mm-hmm. You know, I like to dress up because my regular job doesn't exactly let me dress up. Because you're with children, you can't have powder and paint your face too much. You will stain their dresses. So I like to dress up. So sometimes I just dress up and say, I want to go and have coffee. And he will say, I beg. It's a waste of money. You know, it's another. Can we not just have this pepper soup at home? I say, no, I just want to go out. I just want to feel like you're taking me out. Every time I go out. You know, and we struggled in the beginning, you know, because he's like, I want to travel. I have the money. I will say, Daddy, I want to travel. It helps me remember that I'm a chick.
That's beautiful. Reminds me of something I saw on Twitter recently. This lady says, whenever her mom gets new clothes, the mom would do a catwalk in the dress and come into the room and say, see me now. And then she ended it by saying, our moms are really just girls. And that's so sweet.
And I think that is a beautiful way to live because sometimes being strong women steals away your girliness.
Right.
And the truth is, I find now that I'm slightly older, that you find joy to continue to be superwoman when you remain a girl.
Word.
So be silly sometimes. Just be silly. Just dance. I don't know. Silly means different things for different people. But in all your silliness, before somebody quotes me tomorrow, remember the journey you are building. Don't, in your silliness, compromise the representation of yourself.
Nice.
I have to put that caveat there. So somebody is not...
I get it. So, speaking of this being a girl, being soft and all that, there's this film going about on social media about, it's called Love in Every Word.
Yeah.
You've seen the film? Oh dear. And it just takes me back to the softness of the female character, Chioma. I am taking lessons from her because sometimes we tend to forget that we need to be girls and we need to tap into our femininity. Yes, please, but then again, I'd like to know this whole thing about women in leadership who tend to also just forget about being girly because they have a lot of they're super women, they have some signing to do, decisions to make. In the same vein, how can we encourage more women to take up leadership positions? How can we encourage them to also tap into it? Because we need more of them to also make decisions about our health, about our to govern us even. So how do you think we encourage them to take up more leadership positions?
I think that every woman needs to realize that whether you take it up or not, the burden of leadership is upon you. You lead your house. You lead your life. So, and I have to say you lead your life in case a single lady is listening. Because you decide what cream you're going to rub. That's self-leadership.
Of
You
course.
decide what hair you're going to make. You decide what dress you're going to wear. That's self-leadership. Just take the same skill on a bigger scale to your business, to your shop, to your office, to everywhere that you go. So the burden of leadership is already on a woman. You decide what sanitary towel you're going to use, how you're going to, when the head is paining you, you decide whether you want to put a cold cloth on it or whether you're going to take Panadol. That's leadership. You're just upscaling it. You're governing your life.
Yes, you are.
You decide what kind of nails you want to do, how you want to smell. Those are big decisions. So if you joke around with that, then you can't be any more than that. And if you see a woman who leads herself well, even without effort, it does not mean she won't struggle. Struggle is part of responsible adulthood. There will always be that. You will struggle, but just take that skill of self-governance and put it in every place that God gives you. You sit down and you look at the beans and the rice, and the beans and the spaghetti, and say, I should like beans and rice, but now spaghetti I get, I mix beans and spaghetti. That's you. That's economics. So you lead yourself on many levels. You buy a cream of 13,000, then one day your money no reach. It's like, let me go and look for a 7K alternative. That's economics. So you can take all that skill into a business, a craft, a creative venture, a career. There's no reason why a woman cannot shine if she decides to lead. But we must rise above the fear. Sometimes we're afraid.
Yeah.
They go say, too they do. If you know to do, you know if it be anything for this life.
Okay, I see you.
If you know to do, you know go be anything for this life. Am I allowed to speak Pidgin English?
Of course.
Honestly, I feel like that's what keeps some women quiet. You're not looking at yourself. You're not saying, but I'm able to lead myself. I go and make my hair. I decide what to wear. I mix it. Even if my money no reach, I go and buy the Okrika one. I mix it and make it work. Even my money no reach for perfume. I buy the oil one. It's all those magic. And you think you can't lead? You can. You can. And then those who have children is even another level of leadership, because you are thinking of what they wear. They will be going to party and you look for ribbon and this and this and this and plan it, budget it. Some people do what they call it, the contribution, the small. Yes,
akawo. I think it's akawo. I'm not sure what it's called. But
I know it has susu, but I don't know if there's another name for the small monies until it's big money. So why can't we lead? We can take that skill and just upscale it. And change our communities.
That's beautiful. Oh, that's so sweet. But I want us to tilt back to African Women in Leadership Organization that you're leading the Enugu State chapter, and we saw clips of your, should I call it, inauguration? Yay! We saw that. Beautiful, by the way. So what is it like leading fellow women in that organization?
Please, can I add that in that organization, there are people that they're like mamas to me.
Oh dear.
So it's such a humbling privilege, honestly. I remember the day I was informed that I was going to be state chairperson. You see, I'm also executive council representative for the Aulo Awake Africa project. But you see, that's a back-end work. Some people don't even know I have that title. So I'm just writing and sending and doing emails. But to be chairperson means I'm in everybody's face. I'm the one who will shout when you don't pay your dues and shout if you don't come for volunteer projects. And when I say shout, I don't mean raise my voice, but like the discipline. So it can be challenging, but I've also learned to respect everybody while focusing on the job. And then I put in the extra effort to keep casting the vision. this is what we want to achieve. And this is why it's good for us. This is why it's good for Enugu. This is why it's good for Southeast Nigeria. This is why we must do it. If you don't do it, next time there's a benefit for a member, I will make sure you don't get it.
Okay.
And then some people will send you a DM and say, I can't come. Okay, so, but this is where we're going. Okay, the next time we're going, this is where the club is going. What school can we go? Is there a school in your own community? Is there an area you want? So it's a lot of people management. So I use a lot of my teacher skills. I'm very sweet and respectful. The people who are, mamas, I call them my mama leaders.
Right.
The people who are about my peer, I call them my sister leaders, but I'm still the chairperson. And then I remember that a time is going to come, I'm not going to be chairperson. So I'm very nice. Let's just get the job done. And I've been, initially there was resistance, but now everybody has gotten in the flow.
Resistance?
Yes.
Okay.
When I say resistance, they're like,
why does it have to be her?
yes.
Can't it be me?
Women, we do that. We just have this thing,
say
like,
it as it is. We do that.
So I was getting feedback like, who be this person where they just put as our leader? Because I'm very simple. I can almost exist like I'm not there. If you don't interact with me, I'm not going out of my way to show you all the stuff that I'm made of. I'm that kind of person. So I can be gisting on the road and look very normal. I want to be able to have a normal life.
Right.
And so people had that. It took them seeing the result of the work for them to settle.
Relax
yes. But of course, I'm kind, I'm respectful.
Of course you
and
are.
I give everybody...
See how you're talking to kids. Oh dear. Why would someone talk to me like that?
I give everybody their respect. So now, some people on a regular, I call them mama. Some will say, I'm my babe. I'll say, yes, mama.
Okay. So that's Theodora Ajegwu telling us also her leadership side, because she's leading a state level organization here in the city of Enugu. It's been all shades of interesting. So we're coming to the last lap of this interesting conversation. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with the conversation. See you soon. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Unka. My name is Chinaloromogu Eze, and we have been diving into the story of Theodora Ajegwu, who is the director of Eldoray Children House and the Enugu State chairperson for African Women in Leadership Organization, ALU for short. So, welcome back, as I said, and we're going to be diving into the game segment.
Roll and pop.
Yes! It's the game segment. Okay. So this game, I like to call it Hot Seat Challenge. You have 5 seconds to answer each question. If you do not answer in 5 seconds, you dance.
I dance?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you have 5 seconds to answer each question, hot seat. So as I'm asking, you're answering. As I'm asking, you're answering. Do not waste any time. Okay. If you waste time, we're just going to add it all up for you and then give you the dance we want you to dance if you waste time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay. Let us start. First one. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
Montessori, Maria Montessori.
What's the last thing you Googled?
NKA.
A weird talent you have that nobody knows.
Dancing.
Okay. If your life were a movie, what would be the title?
Rebirths are possible.
Okay. One thing you can never get tired of.
Swimming.
If you had to eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ugu and crayfish.
We're coming to that. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Simple, exciting, adventurous.
A round of applause for you, because wow, you kept to time. That was so fast. Oh dear. But then let's go back to what you said in you love dancing?
I love dancing.
Okay, you're going to show some moves. Hey.
I dance only Jesus song. So if you don't have it here, you can't see that dance.
Oh Jesus. Okay. You said you swim. You like swimming?
Yes, I love to swim.
When was the last time you swam?
just before the end of the year, because of the January fast and all of that, I haven't swam. But just before the end of last year, I swam. And now that it's getting hot, we'll resume swimming again.
Interesting. Really, really, really interesting. And you said you would describe yourself as adventurous.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I love to travel. I love to travel. I love to do all the exciting things that comes with travel. So I don't travel and sit pretty fancy in some hotel. I want to see everything there is to see.
Okay.
I want to go I want to go to the monkey sanctuary, to the everywhere possible. So in fact, growing up, it used to be my job to check out where we were going to travel to as a family. And that's something I still love to do.
Still love to do today.
Yes, I still love to do.
That's fine. That's really beautiful. So on the final notes, do you have special words for women out there, men, women alike, who are watching you right now? You can use the camera there and look at them and tell them something from your heart, something. Just give us something.
Okay, so I'll say something for men and women.
Okay.
Don't let you stop you. You are worth all the time that you put in yourself to become all that you want to be. Will you fail sometimes? Yes. Will you cry sometimes? Yes. Will you want to put your head in between your legs and shout, I'm not doing this life again, it's hard? Yes. But love yourself enough to show up every day responsibly for the journey of your life. If you fail, if you get insulted, if you lose money, reputation, all of that, it's okay to start again. The day where you know say you fail, that day press replay again and start. It's okay. It's okay. Like I like to say, rebirths are possible. Give yourself permission to evolve and evolve and evolve and enjoy the gift that your life is.
Okay. When I said aspire to acquire, the people we bring here always have a way to instill aspire to acquire in one way or the other. That was really beautiful, Theodora. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers all over the world listening and watching us today, this evening, that was Theodora Ajegwu, the director for Eldoray Children House and the Enugu State chairperson for African Women in Leadership Organization. That was an interesting conversation that we just had, and we're wrapping it up. We're saying thank you to you for gracing our invitation to be here with us. All of you, please do not forget to follow us on all of our social media handles at Afia TV Official. We're on DSTV channel 254, on GoTV channel 17, and on Free TV channel 748. My name is China Loromogo Eze, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.